Going to discuss Mughal administration. In the previous classes, we discussed Mughal political history. Mughals political history. Political history means the history which deals with the kings, Mughal kings, from Babur to Aurangzeb. We have completed from Babur to Aurangzeb in the last classes. That was the political history has been completed. Now after the completion of the political history, we have to discuss Mughal administration and also art and architecture of Mughals. Art and architecture of Mughals. So these two topics are there regarding Mughals to complete. After completion of these two, we will completed the history of Mughals. That means the medieval India will be ended. The medieval India would be ended after this. Yeah, coming to the point of the Mughal administrative system. Administration under first Sesha. Originally, first ruler was first Mughal ruler. He was Babur. Babur was the first Mughal ruler. Babur, he ruled only 4 years. That means Babur ruled from 1526 to 1530. 1526 is the first battle of Panipat. Babur established Mughal Empire. After the establishment of the Mughal Empire in 1526, Battle of Panipat. Next year, 1527, Babur also fought with Rana Sangha, that is Battle of Kanwa. And after that, in 1528, also Babur waged war with Medini Rai. That was Battle of Chanderi. So then after this 1529, another battle fought with Battle of Gagra with Muhammad Lodi. Like this, 4 years continuously, 4 years he waged war, and 1530 Babur died. So there is no chance to concentrate to bring administrative system by the Babur from 1526 to 1530. So Babur could not be able to concentrate on the Mughal administrative system. After the Babur, next coming to the point of Humayun. Yeah, Humayun, he ruled first spell of the Humayun from 1530 to 1540. This period, Humayun also concentrated on the reconciliation and extension of the empire. Reconciliation and extension of empire. So in this regard, Humayun also fought with different rulers. 1532 he occupied Gujarat. He waged war with different rulers. He could not be able to concentrate on the administrative system because of 1539 and 1540, with these two wars, Battle of Chausa, Battle of Bilgram, with these two wars, Humayun was completely defeated by the Sher Khan, later period called as Sher Shah. So Humayun left India by this. Sher Shah, he started his rule. Sher Shah started rule only from 1540 to 1545. 5 years of the Sher Shah rule marked for the administrative reforms, and the major administrative reform of the Sher Shah was land reform system. Land revenue system, in the land revenue system he introduced Raitwari system. That latter period followed by the Akbar, latter period followed by the even British were also. So in the process of evolution of the Mughal administration, missionary. The Afghan included, this was from 1540 to 1545. This is called as Afghan rule because Sher Shah belongs to the Afghanistan. Under the Sher Shah Suri, the experiment in the formation of bureaucracy under centralized despotism had taken place. So he introduced the centralized administrative system even after the Mauryans. If you come to the point of the Indian history, in the ancient period, Mauryans, they followed centralized administrative system. To bring this centralized despotism, Sher Shah Suri, he made different experiments. Latter period, Sher Shah, he started his rule, he started the administration that that has been brought some shape by the Akbar. Akbar gave a definite shape for the administrative system of Sher Shah. Thus we can say that Sher Shah anticipated Akbar. Sher Shah was guide to the Akbar for ruling. So we get very little information about the working of central administration under the Sher Shah. But he was an autocrat. And kept everything under the direct control and supervision. Everything was under the direct control of the Sher Shah and also direct supervision of the Sher Shah. Therefore, the things went well so long as he was alive. Until he was alive, the things were going smooth. His successors were not matched to him. His successors could not able to continue the same thing which was followed by the Sher Shah. The village was the smallest unit of the administration from the top to the. A group of the villages consisted of a pargana, a few parganas, a Sikh which was equivalent to the Mughal Sarkar. However, a few areas like such as Punjab, Bengal, Malwa, etc., there were several Sikhs were placed under the officer who can equip with the Mughal Subedar. He was Punjab, Bengal, Malwa area. He was equal to the Mughal period Subedar. So the village head was known as Mukuddam. He worked for the sole things between the government and the village. The administrative system, the things which are convenient for the government, that will be implemented by the Mukuddam. Mukuddam, he was just mediator between the government and the village. Though he was a government servant, nonetheless he was responsible for the maintaining law and order in his village. He could also implement the law and order. Next to the village comes to the Patwari. After the Mukuddam in the village, Patwari was a village record keeper. The land records would be kept under the control of the Patwari in the villages. So he was also not an employee of the state, but was the village community. The Sikdar was in charge of the Pargana. Pargana in charge Sikdar. The chief function was to collect revenue in the Pargana level. Sikdar in the Pargana level. In the Pargana level, Sikdar, he was officer to collect the taxes. So he was frequently transferred under the Sher Shah. Sher Shah period, they won't be settled at one place. Because if they settle at one place, they might be very close with the farmers or very close with the landlords, and there would be a chance to become bribe or to become corrupted. That's why they would transfer frequently. So he was assisted by the two carcunes. These were called as clerks, who kept the records both Hindi and Persian version, Hindi version and Persian version. The munsif was responsible for the measuring of the land, etc. Both Sikdar and Munsif, Sikdar and Munsif were directly appointed by the government. They would directly appointed by the government. The Konango maintained the records of the Pargana level. The records of the Pargana level would be maintained by the Konango. He was hereditary and semi-official, not completely official, hereditary semi-official. The Fotedar work entrusted with the treasury of the Pargana. Fotedar was the treasury. A number of Parganas formed into Sarkar, Sikh, headed by the Sikdaran. Sarkar level, the head was Sikdaran. He was Pargana level, Sikdaran. But if you come to the point of, Sarkar level, he was Sikdaran. But coming to the point of the Pargana level, just Sikdar. Pargana level, he was called as just Sikdar. That you have to remember. Sikdar in the Pargana level. Some group of the Parganas are considered as Sarkar. He was supervisor and executive officer over the Sikdars, all the Pargana areas. He would be officer for all the Sikdars. The Munsifan, another officer, Munsafan. He performed the duties of Amin, that means created later by the Mughals. Amin, it was a duty later created by the Mughals, and also Sarkar level. There were 66 Sarkars during the time of the Sher Shah period. This question asked several times. You have to remember this. 66 Sarkars. There would be 66 Sarkars during the Sher Shah period. Sher Shah attached great importance to the administration of justice. He attached to the great influence of administration of justice. Civil cases of the Muslims were taken care of by the quasi civil cases. The criminal cases were taken by the Sikdar in the Pargana level. The largest responsibility for detecting crimes rested upon the Mukuddams in the village level. The Mukuddams of the village where the crime was committed failed to capture the culprit. He was liable to severe punishment if he could not able to find out the culprit. If he could not able to get the fail to capture the culprit. అంటే ఎవరైనా పట్టుకోకపోతే, నేరం చేసిన వాడిని పట్టుకోకపోతే ముకుద్దమ్స్కు వాడికి కూడా శిక్ష వేసేవారు. He would be also punished by the ruler. Next category, department responsibilities. Diwani Wazarat, it is revenue department, regulating the revenue settlement, fixing the taxes, controlling empire expenses, controlling the empire expenses. Diwani Wazarat, Wazir was head of this Diwani Wazirat. Wazir was the head. He was revenue minister. Revenue and finance would be under the Wazir. He would regulate the revenue settlements, he would fix the taxes, he would control the empire expenses. Diwani Aris, this is a military department regulating and preserving the royal army. It would be regulates the royal army. It would be regulates the royal army. And Diwani Risalat. Diwani Risalat Musatib, this would take the foreign affairs, maintaining trade and economical relations with the foreign countries. Next, Diwani Insa. Diwani-Insa, it was a custodian of the government papers, in charge of the royal correspondence for the all matters including confidential affairs. All the affairs will be under the Diwani-Insa. Diwani-Khwaja, this is a department of Diwani-Insa. This was a internal affairs department. You can take this internal affairs department. This is foreign department. It is internal affairs department. It is a judiciary department. Judiciary. Khwaja means judiciary. Barid, intelligence department, managing the intelligence affairs. Saman, in charge of the royal household, managing the royal household. These were the different departments. Might be most of the times they would ask this. ఎక్కువగా ఇవే క్వశ్చన్స్లో అడుగుతూ ఉంటారు. సో దిస్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు రిమెంబర్. ఆర్ ఇస్ మిలిటరీ, వజీరత్ వజీర్ రెవెన్యూ అండ్ ఫైనాన్స్, ఇన్సా it was the what is that internal affairs, Risalat Musadib, that was foreign affairs, Khwaja judiciary, Bari the intelligence department, Saman royal household. These are the things to remember. Next, revenue administration. Provincial administration. In 1580, Akbar divided the empire into 12 subas. Later on, 3 more added, that is later period 15. At the time of the 1605 death of the Akbar period, there were 15 subas. Most of the times, you can find this question in the previous examinations. Most of the times asked regarding this question. Each suba was divided into a number of sarkars, and these were further divided into paragana. Suba, first kingdom divided into suba, divided into paragana. Again, last was the village. Last administrative system was village. Kingdom, emperor or empire, emperor. Subal, subedar. Paragana level, there were the officers in the paragana level called Sikdar. Village level, Mukuddam and Patwari. During the Shah Jahan reign, another administrative unit, Chakla came into existence. It was a cluster number of paraganas. Provincial governor, Subedar is directly appointed by the emperor. He was called as Subedar, is called as governor. He was also called as governor. Usually, the tenure of a Subedar was around 3 years. Among the duties of the Subedar, the most important was look after the welfare of the people and army. The main duty of the Subedar is welfare of the people and also army. Welfare of the army. So he was responsible for the general law and order. Law and order under the Suba level, completely under the control of the Subedar. A successful Subedar was one who would encourage agriculture, trade and commerce. So he was supposed to take up welfare activities like construction of the sarais. Sarais means rest houses beside the roads. In that rest, that is what called as satram of that period. Sarai, rest house for the pedestrians. While the pedestrians would stop there, by that time, grandmother or old woman, she would prepare some food for them. That is what called as Putakulamma. So that concept existed as dabas on the highways, hotels. So sarais, The main duty was construction of the sarais, gardens, wells, water reservoirs, etc. These were the important for the welfare of activities of the people. So he was to take steps to enhance to the revenue of the state. For the enhancing of the revenue of the state, he can take any steps. Diwan. The provincial Diwan was appointed by the governor. He was an independent officer answerable to the center only. He was the head of the revenue department. The provincial Diwan supervised the revenue collection of the Suba and maintained the accounts of expenditure incurred in the form of salaries. The Diwan was also to take steps to increase the area under cultivation because he was complete head of the revenue. He was head of the revenue. So, he would develop the cultivation area. He would collect the taxes, he would develop the cultivation area and he would provide the irrigation facilities. In many cases, advance loans, that is Takavi loans. Takavi loans were given to the farmers or peasants through the Diwani Wazirat office, from the Diwan office. Takavi loans means giving loans to the farmers, advanced loans to the farmers. That is a Rosman Cha daily register. He wanted to Roznam Cha, that is daily register, was maintained by the Diwan, which carried entries of amount that was deposited in the royal treasury by the revenue officers and Zemindars. The Zemindars and revenue officers, whatever they collected, whatever they deposited the amount, that will be maintained by the Diwan. A large number of clerks would be worked under the Diwan. This was so thus making by the Diwan independent of the Subedar and the putting financial matters under the farmer. The Mughals were successful in checking the Subedar from becoming independent. Bakshi, military department. The Bakshi was appointed by the imperial court. Recommendation of the Mir Bakshi. Mir Bakshi, he was in the central level, Bakshi in the provincial level. He performed exactly the same military functions which was by the Mir Bakshi. Whatever the Mir Bakshi have the military functions, same functions will be maintained in the provincial level by the Bakshi. He was responsible for checking and inspecting the horses and the soldiers maintained by the Mansabdars in the Sabha level. So he issued pay bills of both Mansabdars and the soldiers. His duty was to prepare list deceased Mansabdars, list of the deceased Mansabdars, but often news reporters, Waki Nawaz of the Paragana directly sent information to the provincial Diwan. These news reporters would give report to the Bakshi, that is Diwan. Often his office was combined with Waqfa Nigar. In this capacity, his duty was informed to the center happenings in his province. The facilities and work posted to the agents, Pargana and various important offices. Next to another one, Daroga-e-Dak, Postal Department, and also Secret Services. Development of the communication network in the area, because they Mughals maintained the vast empire. A separate department assigned to the important task, the imperial postal system, that is Dak system, established for the sending instructions to the far-flung areas of the empire. The same channel was used for receiving information, sending information and receiving information. After the 30 to 40 kilometers one person will take the what is that information. That person will give the information. Suppose here one area, here is one area. The area between these two is suppose 60 kilometers. This is a meeting point. This person A and this person B. This A person would bring information to the B. A and B would meet here, and A would give information to the B. B would give information to the A. Exchange of the information, and they will come back again to reduce the time. Like that, they have some set of the people. For this purpose, a number of docks, chowkis, what I told to you, runners were stationed who carried post in the next chowki. The horses and boats were also used for the helping of the speedy delivery. At the provincial level, waki-navis and waki-nigars, waki-navis and waki-navars, these were appointed directly by the emperor. So beside there was a Savani Nigar, provide the confidential reports, secret reports to the emperor. So many reports of these secret service agents were available to us. They are very important in the history of this period. The Mughals kept watch over the officials. So beside the Mughal emperors, frequent visit to the every Subha and the system of frequent transfer of the officials, after a period of 3 years on average, helped the Mughals checking the officials. So every time they are going to change, every time they are going to transfer the people. Just wait. So this transfer of the people will be helped for the checking of the officials. It will be helped for the checking of the officials. But the possibility of rebellion always existed. Therefore, constant vigil through an organized system of intelligence. Sometimes, several times we can find the rebellions in the different areas. These secret officers, they would guess or they would take the information before going to outbreak of the rebellion. అక్కడ పలానా చోట రెబెల్స్ ఉన్నారు, వాళ్ళు రెబెలియన్ చేస్తారు అనుకున్నప్పుడు అక్కడ నుంచి ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ వచ్చేస్తుంది. దట్ వాజ్ ద సిస్టమ్. లోకల్ అడ్మినిస్ట్రేటివ్ సిస్టమ్. So we will discuss the local administrative system in the village level. First, sarkars. At the sarkars level, there were two important functionaries, Fauzdar and Amalgar. Fauzdar and Amalgazar. Amalgazar and Fauzdar, these two were the two important officers under the sarkar level. Fauzdar, he was executive head of the sarkar. So his area influence seems to have complex. He was not only appointed at the sarkar level, but sometimes within the number of Fauzdars existed. Within the sarkar level, sometimes 2 or 3 Fauzdars will be there. At times their jurisdiction spread over the 2 full sarkars. Sometimes one sarkar, different officers. Sometimes different sarkars with one officer, like that. One Fauzdar. So like that. It seems to be the duty mainly to take care of the rebellions, law and order, all these things. The jurisdiction was divided according to the needs of the region. His primary duty was safeguard the life and prosperity of the residents of that area. They have to safeguard that area. So he was ensure safe passage to traders within the jurisdiction. They would also give support, they would also give protection to the traders, safeguard to the residents. As the chief executive of the region, the Fauzdar was keep vigil over the recalcitrant Zamindars. The special circumstances he was helped to the Amal Gujar in the matters of the revenue collection. Amal Gujar, the most important revenue collector. Amil, he was also called as Amil or Amal Gujar. So his primary duty was to assess and supervise the revenue collection through other subordinate officers. A good Amil was supposed to increase the land under the cultivation and induce the peasants to pay revenue willingly without coercion. The accounts were be maintained by him. Daily expenditure, daily receipts expenditure will be, he was responsible to the Diwan. Tanedar, the Thana, would be army stationed for the preservation of the law and order. Thana means just like police station. They were to arrange provisions for the army. So these Thanas were established specially distributed areas around the cities. The head was designated as Tanedar. Thana head was Tanedar. He was appointed on the recommendation of Subedar or Diwan. Tanedar would be appointed on the recommendation of the Subedar or Diwan. So he was generally placed under the Fauzdar of area. Fauzdar of that area. Paragana administration. The Paraganas were administered under below the Sarkars. The Sikdar was the executive officer in the Paragana level. The Amil looked after the revenue collection of the Paragana level. His duties were similar to the Amal Gujar. Amil duties will be Amal Gazar. Both are the same. The Konangas kept all the records pertaining the land in his area. He was to take note different crops in the Paragana level. The village was lowest administrative unit. Coming to the point of the village, Mukuddam, village headman. Patwari was to take care of the village revenue records. Mukuddam was the village headman. Patwari was revenue records. Under the Mughals, the pattern of the village administrative system remained almost same lines it was under the Sher Shah. Sher Shah village administrative system and also Mughals administrative system almost same. Town, port and port administration. Town, fort and port administrative system. To administer the cities and ports, Mughal maintained separate administrative machinery. Kotwal, he was head of the city. For urban centers, the imperial court appointed Kotwal, a primary duty of the safeguard of the life. Law and order would be under the control of the Kotwal. He may be compared the present police officer, police commissioner. Kotwal is police commissioner, present police commissioner of the cities and towns. The Kotwas was also maintain register for keeping records of the people and going out of them, incoming and outgoing of the people to the city and outside the city. Every outsider had to take permit from before entering into leaving the town. The Kotwal was ensured that no illicit liquor was manufactured in his area. That also should be maintained by the Kotwal. Liquor also. He also acted as a superintendent of weights and measures. He was also superintendent of weights and measures. Merchants, shopkeepers. Next to another one, Quilasdar. Quiladar, Mughal had large number of Quilas. Kila means fort, head of the fort, Quiladar. Many of these located strategical important places. strategical important places, they would construct some forts. The head of the fort is Kiladar. Each fortress was like a township, like large garrison. It has a large garrison. Each fort was under the officer called Kiladar. A cursory survey of the person appointed Kiladar revealed in the high ranks generally were appointed. He was in charge of the general administration of the port, assigned to the Jagir and Kiladar. Sometimes the Kiladar were asked to perform the duties of the Fauzdar region. Fauzdar of that region. Port administration, that is seaports. So the Mughals were aware of the economic importance of the seaports. Because of brisk trade between the India to the other foreign countries. The port administration was provincial authority. The governors of the port was called as Mutasaddi. Mutasaddi, he was a provincial administrator of the ports. Sometimes the officer of the Mutasaddi was auctioned and given to the highest bidder. The person who takes the highest bidder to collect the revenue, he will be appointed as a Mutasaddi. ఆక్షన్ వేస్తారు. ఆక్షన్లో ఎవరైతే బిడ్ ఎక్కువగా పాడతాడో, నేను ఎక్కువగా కలెక్ట్ చేస్తాను, నేను ఎక్కువగా డబ్బులు తీసుకొస్తాను అన్నవాడికి అది ఇస్తారు. ద Mutasaddi collected taxes, merchandise and maintained the custom house. He also the supervisor of the maintain at the port mint house at the port. Mint house, this is what called as mint house. The Subedar was his subordinate to mainly concerned with the customs office. So this is about the Mughal administrative system. In the next class, we are going to discuss Mughals art and architecture. Mughal art and architecture. We'll discuss in the next class. Okay? Mughal art and architecture. Now we completed administration of the Mughals. Okay? Good luck to you all.